Alright, so I just kind of want to make another video showing like a little project I'm working on that I think is kind of cool. I haven't, okay, I'm gonna say a quick thing though. The previous video, if anybody watched that, which I kind of doubt it, but if anybody did, that video is incredibly wrong. I got access to the source code for Zenless on Zero shaders, and so I've been working with that and reworking that, which has been very cool, very fun, just taken a very long time to do that. Anyways, another project I'm working on in the meantime. This is a pocket watch that will display the time. Display the time. It will also work as a stopwatch. It will display weather and also time of day as well. Well, time of day via whether it's bright out or if it's not bright out, I guess you could say. And the reason why I'm making this is that, like, I guess it's a cool model. Like, look at all this cool stuff. Look at all this. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. Um, yeah. Anyways, it's a cool model. It's been fun to work on. But the reason why I'm making this is that one of the main things I enjoy doing is being in character and such. However, a really out of character thing to do is open up your menu to check the time. That is something you should never do. It's really kind of not fun to do that when you need to check what the time is. So, in order to make it in character, I'm modeling a pocket watch. So I can just pull this out, look at it, and know what the time is. And there's some interesting information too, just to make it look more fancy or more technologically advanced per se, even though this isn't supposed to be like future or anything like that. It's supposed to be, I guess, not steampunky, maybe a little bit fantasy, I don't know. But yeah. And so like for this basically we have the second, minute, hour hands. This is based off of a let's see this one. Yeah, it's based off of this watch. I think this is pretty cool. It's based off of this one. It's pretty similar to what I've got going, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, anyways, the hands, this right here will be displaying the weather. So this is all placeholder stuff, so I need to actually make all of the individual, like, assets. I need, like, this is just, like, placeholder to make sure, so I have an idea what's going on. Anyway, so this would be, clear, this would be cloudy, rainy, thunder, and then snow, and this would just be unknown. So, like, for sending the weather data, I'm using VRC OSC for that. Just close this, using VRC OSC for this, and, like, for the weather, they have a whole lot of stuff here. They have a lot of stuff. And for each of the weather things, I wanted to have something be unique or distinct for each bit of weather. So let me see here. I have a little notepad here just writing stuff down. And all I could think of was clear, cloudy, rain, thunder, snow. Each of these are distinct in their own way. Clear, well, it's clear outside. Cloudy is clear, but there's clouds. Rain is cloudy, but there's rain. And thunder is rain, but there's thunder and lightning. Snow is frozen. Like, these are all they're all very distinct from each other. I couldn't figure out what to do here, then I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's an unknown here. Let's just use that, because, like, all this, like, there's mist. It doesn't feel very distinct or something that you'd want to, like, it's not something that you'd really want to know. Or something that would change your plans, per se, compared to, like, cloudy. Cloudy mist, it's kind of similar. I mean, it could be more similar to rain, per se, or, like, a drizzle. But yeah, you kind of see what I mean, like, ice pellets, you could group that into snow. It's snow, well, it's frozen rain. I don't know, like, these are very distinct to each other, that's why I chose these. And it's hard coming up with last one, I was just like, okay, I'll just do unknown because that makes sense, because sometimes maybe it might not know what the weather is, so I'll just have unknown as a fallback. It's probably a good idea. Yeah, so that's this, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and so I also got some stuff online. Man, right. I need gears for this because I'm going to make all the mechanisms and such in here work. It's not going to be accurate, it's like a real watch, but it'll look visually interesting and it'll move and such. So yeah, I got like these little textures. Let me open this up. Yeah, here we go. So I got these, I bought them, and I can just use these and just I'll bake it onto I'll bake it onto a flat plane, onto this when I'm actually done organizing, sorting it all out. But yeah, I just got all these little greebles. Oh, all these little greebles, I guess you could say. Well, it's like little gears and hands and things like that that I can use to make a visually interesting thing. I also got another one too that has some other options as well that has been very nice to work with. Very cool, very cool. Um, yeah, another cool thing I thought would be fun with this, I could also display whether or not it's bright outside. So how that would work is that, so like we have this dial, but we don't really have room for another one to display how bright it is outside. Like you could just know like whether or not it's bright out via this, but wouldn't it be interesting to kind of know, because like this doesn't specifically say AM or PM on it per se. Technically I could use like the stopwatch stuff here for that if I really wanted to, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to display that as well? So what if all of this was like cutout stuff? So like this would display nothing. This would just be properly cut out. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. This would be properly cut out. There'd be nothing here basically. Oh, let me excuse me. Okay, so what the idea is that we're gonna have another one of these discs that are below this that is a gradient that will basically show how bright it is outside. Uh, um, and then these little individual spinning ones right here, these will basically have cutouts. Like this one will have a cutout of clouds, this one will have cutout of clouds and rain, cutout of thunder, lightning, rain, cutout of clouds and snow, and this one will be something. I don't know what it will be yet, but we'll see. This is the unknown one. Um, yeah, and so I got a gradient online. Let's see here. Yeah, this. So I got this, which is basically the daytime, sunset, sunrise, and so I'm going to basically blur this out, or I'm just going to recreate it, and then turn this into a black and white gradient. And then I'll tint it, and I basically have it, well, yeah, this will basically be used. I'll make a specific UV map for this. And the idea, will this work properly? I'm trying to think, how would I UV unwrap this? Anyways, I'll figure it out. But yeah, or I could remake this to be radial too. Anyways, I want to be using this to basically display whether or not it's bright out, and this is accurate because it's adjusted to daylight settings, so I could even read from the, I believe from VRC OSC, we also have a month. Yes, we could use the month to basically lerp, or I guess offset the texture so it properly aligns with the, I guess, time zone shift. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. That's the idea. It'll be pretty cool. And to figure out whether, like, which part of this should be displayed, we can also use the hour mixed with the AM and PM, or the period, right here. So that'll be pretty cool. One interesting thing about this, an issue that I had with this, is that, okay, the model this is going to be used for is this. You may have seen this before. And there's a slight problem. Let me turn on the bones here. This is the old one, or I guess one that I've already gone through and like went through and cleaned up a bunch. This has, if I go into edit mode, this has 147 bones. The limit for VRChat's good rating is 150. That's kind of a problem, which means, so I only have access to 3 bones. And for this, well, that would be fine for a minute, well, a second, minute, and hour hand, but if I wanted this lid to open up or have this little part to rotate, I could use physbones, but that'd be kind of not very good. That'd be kind of a really bad way of doing that. So, well, I gotta remove more bones. Turns out, I hadn't realized this, but I didn't actually update this model to the newest one, which has even fewer bones. So, like, well, some stuff that I removed to change that. Remove the nose bone, remove the toe bones, because you don't need those if you're in full body. I believe, from my understanding, toe bones, the IK for them are not used unless you're in desktop or not in full body. If you're in full body, it kind of just ignores them. So I just removed that. Some other things that could be removed was these individual bones for these right here. These could just be parented to the shoulder bone and it would be fine. So that's what I did here. So yeah, so those just don't exist, just parented those over. Whoop-de-doo, there we go, awesome, cool. Yeah, and so now we have access to 139, sorry, not 139 bones, we have 11 bones we can use now, which gives us a lot more room to do stuff. So now we could have the, so let's see here, I'll count this on my hand. We have the second, minute, hour, weather, open, my other hand now, open, then we have like, I don't know, then we could do like 6 more gears if we want, and we'd still be good. Or if we want to do a chain, we could do a chain too, which I might do. Like for this I'm planning, because like I could place this model on the body somewhere. I'm not sure what would be a good spot for it. I'll probably see if I'll probably place it around and such when it's done. Um, but yeah, I think the idea for this is that I could just have it to where if I just like lay down my arm kind of, I guess, vertically down, I just have it slide from underneath here and it'll just like rest in my hand and I can look at it. That'd be pretty easy. Um, if I'm not sure where to put it on the person body, so I'll just have it do that. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I don't know, that's the idea for this. It's pretty cool. Um, yeah, all this will be like, currently these are just flat planes with transparency. This is part of the big massive picture. When it's done, I'm going to bake these onto a flat plane, part of the UV map here. This will be all low poly. It is 647,000, but this will probably be, I'm going to guess, 1 to 2K tries at most. Probably 2K tries is my guess, if I'm to make this look quite nice. Yeah, probably 1 to 2K. Probably like 1.5K tries sounds about right. Because all of this will just be cut out in transparency for all of this. Like, this will not have any actual depth to it. I will probably add in some depth back in with parallax. Like, I did some parallax here with the gears and such, just to get an idea of how it could look. And it looks interesting. It looks nice. So all of the rest of this will be using it, but it'll look a bit better. Yeah, something interesting though is that for these hands, I'm not going to be using cutout transparency yet. I probably should. I'm going to have these be physically modeled because for people on Quest, I'd like them to still be able to see some parts of the model. Like, for example, they wouldn't be able to see any of the gear mechanisms or anything like that. They still be able to see the hands because this doesn't use transparency. This will be all opaque and won't be cut out or anything. So this will just be physically modeled so other people could see it. Or if it's hidden, I mean, there are fallback shaders, excuse me. Yeah, yeah. I could talk a little bit about, let's see, I could talk a little bit about this. Let's see here. I did a video a bit ago. Um, let's see. I haven't really done a video talking about this specifically. This has gone through a lot of changes. Was originally Artist Store's USA Rabbit model. I mean, it still is. It's pretty much the same. It's just been edited color-wise and just not proportions very much, more just adjustments to the outfit, add some covers, changes the size of things, clean things up a bit. Like, for example, I added in I baked all the normals for this, make it look nice and smooth on the edges. It's a little bit hard to see how, I guess, it looked before. I mean, I could just, like, go here and this is kind of how it looked before a little bit. But yeah, I baked all this stuff for this, make it look nice. It's very cool. Same with the bow back here as well. I baked all of this. Well, not all of this. I baked part of it to make it look more smooth. So you can see here, we have some of those artifacts right here from baking, but it just makes the overall bow look a bit more smooth, I guess you could say. Same with this here. Like, these wrinkles and folds are a little bit, I mean, they're fine. They're fine. But you could make them look more smooth. Like, look at that. Look how nice that looks. It's gorgeous. Yeah, the buttons are also baked as well, so like this is how they normally look. The problem is that like I like going for like a tuned PBR style, but the original style of this model is just flat shaded pretty much. So if you try to add in any specular highlights or reflections, especially for things like this, it does not look too good. It would not look like you see here like in the matte cap view or the preview or whatever you want to call it. It just looks bad. So you had to bake all that to make it look all nice and gorgeous and beautiful. And yeah, some other fun stuff too. Oh, just zoom in properly onto this. Some other fun stuff too. Oh, right, something I forgot to mention. Really quick thing. It'd be really cool to have this be on a physbone, so it could open and close like this. Nice. However, I do not have enough physbones to actually do that. I've used up all 8 for good performance, and like basically everything on this is right on the edge of being good performance rank. So like if you go down here, material slots for, I think that could be 8, but if you go down here a little bit more, oh wait no, gotta go a little higher up. Yeah, physbone transform count 64, that's the max for good, and physbone components, that's the max for good. Yeah, I have quite a good, poly count's pretty good right now. It's not over 70k, it's below that, which I'm quite surprised by. I removed all the parts underneath the clothes that will not be seen ever, so basically like everything here to about the waist, that's all gone. Same with parts of the arms as well. Yeah. I also had to cut down a lot of the bones. Right now there's 147, that's now 139, but 150 is the max for good. So like I did that by removing a lot of, like there used to be a lot of individual bones for this, like a bone here, a bone here, bone here, and here, like each individual part of that was, so I just condensed it down to a single bone. And it looks quite nice, it works quite well, like if I just like go here, turn on the bones, and just move this about. It's pretty nice. It works well. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just simplified everything I can. Let's limit physbones and the transform count. The transform count for the physbones is perfectly on the dot for how many you can have, which is 64. To try to make this work better, you'll see some weird things if I go into oh, that's the wrong one. If I go into the bone view right here, you'll see there's a lot of overlapping bones, like this. And if it moves too weird, it'll look a bit weird because there's a gap here. So you gotta move it from this, and that moves all of them. That's like a, it's interesting. So like, okay, if I had physbones affecting all the bones on the dress, then it would be over the performance limit and it'd be a medium. I don't want to be medium, I want to be good. So what I do is that there are physbones on these main parts. However, I use a rotation constraint to move this bone, I call it an in-between bone, to move in between of this. So if this rotation is all the way here like this, we could move this one in between like that, or something like that. And then, well, okay, if this moves like this, I believe. I'm not exactly, I can't remember how I set this up. This is about a year ago when I did this. But, yeah, you can have in-between bones to smooth it out, but for those in-between bones, don't have physbones on them. Just have a rotation constraint, because rotation constraints are basically free now, compared to Unity's constraints with VRC's new rotation constraints and such. So we have these in-between bones right here to help smooth things out. We have that for the ears as well, and the hair, I think. No, for the hair is different. So for the hair, yeah, do that for the ears as well to limit how many physbones we're using. But for the hair, we also do a similar thing to where we have, I believe, I can't remember, I can just check in Unity actually. Let's see here. So I believe, okay, so from the looks of it, the outside hair uses physbones. The inside hair, though, these all use rotation constraints to basically mimic the rotation here. The front here uses only this front bone, and then it uses rotation constraints that are copying this one. So these two move with these, and it still looks quite nice, because they're probably going to move in the same motion for the most part, so we just have these two copy the rotation of this center one, and we're good to go. Another place we could save bones is right here on the rabbit ears. The problem is that these bones here are not needed. I added them here so I could easily rotate them without screwing with the physbones, because physbones and animating them is a bit weird sometimes, so I just had these extra bones here, so I just rotate these because the ears move with the direction in which you're looking, which just adds a little bit more character to it, you could say. Yeah, like some other fun stuff too that I did as well with this, that I use, what is it again? Bent normals for this. I don't know if you know what bent normals are, but just like a little quick description, I guess. It's like a normal map, but for ambient occlusion. They store essentially the difference, or they store the direction in which indirect lighting comes from, or is occluded. It could be either or. But I believe it's they store the direction in which indirect lighting is coming from. So it knows the direction of light in world space, or in tangent space that is transformed to world space. But if we go to our materials, oh yeah, I made a whole baker for this too and such. I don't know if I made a video on this or not. I might have, but I made a whole baker just specifically for doing this. You can use Substance Painter for this. It does a better job. However, this can bake indirect lighting as well, which is pretty cool. You could do that in Blender. This works a little bit better though. Let's go here. Let's go to the hair. Let's go here. So these are our baked textures. We have our indirect colors right here. This is the indirect color of the reflections or of the lighting. We also have our bent normals as well for everything. Some of them are a little bit weird because the hair is overlapping and weird stuff, so we don't use bent normals on everything. We have our ambient occlusion. Look how nice that looks. So cool. Like, I already have ambient occlusion from baking in Substance Painter. But like, we have this at all fairly low resolutions because it doesn't need to be that high. So like, for example, if you look here to the body, let's just go here. Yes, there is an extra material on here for this stuff. I already removed that because I don't use that ever. That's like extra facial expressions and such. I don't use that. If we go to the body, just grab our color. Let's just drag and drop this onto our albedo. This is the indirect color of everything. It's very interesting looking at it because you can see here, oh look, it's getting the color from the button here. It's getting the color of part of the dress. Actually, no, that's just it, not hiding anything. See, it's getting part of the color from the dress. This is getting the color from the bow right here. This is getting the color from the hair. This is getting color from the bows again. yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting seeing all of this and like see all like the indirect lighting. Like here's getting the color from the gem. It's getting the color from probably the skin is my guess. Oh no, getting the color from yeah. Okay, okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's fairly interesting. So like basically we can use this to have indirect color contribution. So we just go here. What if we set the albedo to white? Now if we go here and look at this, it's pretty cool. We actually have indirect color contribution here. Look at this. We have the color. So let's just so basically drag and drop in our color map here, and this basically the bent normal. This says where should this color show up essentially, and so it'll just basically replace the indirect reflections or the reflect. I mean, I'm doing such a great job at explaining this. It's going great, wonderful, but yeah, you can see here we have the indirect lighting. It's kind of like, I guess you could imagine it like reflections, but it's baked per object, so like baked reflections. However, they are still slightly dynamic, as you can see. It's pretty cool. You get a lot of really nice looking stuff with this. Like for example, I believe this uses it. Is it turned on right now? Let's see here. Yes it is. So let's just turn this down. Look at that. It's like ambient occlusion, but it's dynamic. Kind of hard to show. You see like in between here. It's very cool. Yeah, I don't know. It's very cool. Yeah, this uses it very well. I don't know. It's just cool seeing like what it can be used for. But yeah, so I use this to give it a little bit more depth. Also, you could do some like occlusion as well. So if I go back to the body, then you can also have more darkened stuff too. So basically do like ambient occlusion based upon the direction you're looking. So you can see here when I look at it from this direction, the ambient occlusion doesn't really show up too much. When I look at it from this direction, it gets darker. Because again, essentially you could imagine it as if rays are being projected from the camera, and then it's bouncing off the surface and hitting the bow. So depending on the direction, there's less hitting here, more of it's hitting the sky, especially here. It's very cool. And then you basically whip that for another color. So like you can darken it or do whatever you want. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Like here, see the indirect color contribution of the gem right here. You see how it changes. Like from this direction, it's reflecting more of this. This direction, it's kind of more reflecting ours, not hitting the gem as much. It's really cool. Really, really cool what you do with it. It's just very, very small details that are harder to see. Like the bow, you have the indirect. Yeah, it's really cool. You have the indirect color from the bow and from the tail. And like, it's hard to see, like, darken it. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool. It'd help add some more depth too, like in between the crevices of fabric as well. Pretty cool. I mean, AO does the same thing too, but it's just directional. So depending on the direction you're looking, it will change. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Just add back in our albedo. Yeah, you can see here, it could also be used for like including like the Fresnel effect or just like other Fresnel effects or just like reflections. You see here we use it in the crevices here to give more depth. Technically these should not have a Fresnel because it's just reflecting this, so it shouldn't have it. So we just could darken it. And yeah, it adds a bit more depth. Depth makes it look very nice. Like for example, it's used here in between the legs. Just these like this. Let's go to the material. Where are you? Body. Down, let's try this on. See, it's used in between the leggings right here to give it a little bit, yeah, just a little bit more depth. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm really quite happy with this. It's very cool. Let's see here. What else can I talk about? I'm sure there's something else. Oh yeah, something else I added to compared to the older versions of this. Adding sheen. Sheen is very nice. It makes the fabric look a bit more, I guess, fluffy per se. Very nice. Very cool. This also has support for VRC light volumes. However, it's kind of botched. This is like an older shader I did a few years ago. I just kind of slap it in there and it works. It's fine. It could be better. That's why I'm making another version of this shader that supports it much better. But yeah, I don't know. That is this. What is this stuff that we're looking at? Confused. Oh, that's just the meshes for this, but the origin are up here. Got it. Understood. Got it. Oh yeah, this is the low poly model for this. Understood. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let's see, what else could I say? Um, hmm. Oh, something interesting I messed around with is that there are like brain sensing headbands you get that can measure kind of like how much certain parts of your brain are relaxed or intense. You can train yourself to use them pretty well. I have the Muse 2 for that. It's very cool. And like I have a test version of this where I'm able to control the ears and such, like rotate them, move the direction. The problem is that as soon as anything covers the headband for that, it loses Bluetooth connection. So as soon as I put on my headphones or my headset, it just stops working. So I can't really use it, which stinks, but it's pretty cool. It's fun. Oh yeah, another cool thing I can mention is that this uses anastrophic reflections for the hair. So if we go to the hair, have this down here. Basically, anastrophic reflections and mesiotropic reflections images like these on the bottom of a pot and such, or used in hair. It's very cool, very fun. I'm doing that on the watch a little bit because I don't know. I think it's very fun having like right here and here and here, here on this little outer ring. I want to have some better places because this doesn't fit too well. This kind of works, and this kind of works, I guess. Before all of this used to be anastrophic, I was like, I'll just have it be white because it'll just, it's a bit easier to read the text there. It looks a little bit more proper, per se. The hair uses that to make it look a bit better. And I think it looks quite well, because like usually people for this would use matte caps and such, and like, I have matte caps for that. Why is this in here? I don't think I was working on this shader in here, was I? I guess it's just here for testing. Anyways, let's see here, textures, matte cap. Yeah, there's some hair matte caps and such that could be useful for this. I like using, I know, I like mixing tune with PBR lighting, because again, you could blend in with the environment and fit in with the environment and look a bit more natural per se. But it's also bit difficult to balance the tune aspect and the realistic aspect, or the PBR aspect, because it could look a bit creepy. So you have to keep the tune lighting, but then keep the PBR aspects, but then kind of limit where the PBR aspects show up, via like spec masks or yeah, mainly spec masks is the main thing. Is like having specular reflections on the skin can look a little bit weird. I believe I have it here and it looks fine. Oh, I just bonked my mic. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, we've got subsurface scattering too, and that's for the hair. I have that to make the hair look just a bit more, I guess, less flat per se. Oh, how long is this gonna take? Yeah, it just adds a little, makes it look a little bit. I have already changed the lighting for that to help. But this helps a bit more. It's nice, and like also like use subs for scattering, make the skin look a bit more skin-like, or I guess less creepy materials. Body. Yeah, here we go. Like you see here, it's like without subsurface scattering. It looks like it looks more like standard shader almost. Because again, this is kind of a toon PBR. I mean, it is also affected by the lighting ramp as well. But this just helps add it, make it look a bit more, I guess, human per se, and a bit more toon-like. Looks very nice. We're happy with it. And it reacts to lighting and everything too. We also have, you could also use like, also have like a lookup curve as well for curvature based. I don't use curvature based. I just use thickness based here. However, we don't. I mean, I have baked a thickness texture for this. However, I haven't really used it because I don't know. I think for this you really don't need a thickness. Just have it show up everywhere. It'll look nice. You could also use subsurface as well for clothing, which can look nice as well. To give it more, I guess, of a softer look like Sheen does. I don't think I do that anywhere on here per se, but yeah, I don't know. Also, these textures are 4K. I don't like that they're 4K, but they're 4K. I mean, at least still in the good rating, but they're 4K. I don't want them to be 4K, but they're 4K. Yeah, I don't know. That's all this. There's a lot of cool optimization. I don't know. Yeah, what the heck? Oh, okay, got it. Oh yeah, I guess another interesting thing I can show is that I have baked textures for all this. So basically, this was before VRChat came out with their toon shader, or their more proper toon shader per se. One that's just not flatlit. Flatlit is fine, but you can't do too much with it, customization wise. So I baked all the textures in Blender. So if you go to the materials, you have a request one. Actually, do I already have a quest version here? No, I just used this to upload this quest. Okay. But yeah, here's, that's really bright. Why is it so bright? Oh, I've already adjusted it to the toon version. Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I gotta go back and... Huh, why is this so bright? Wacky. Anyways, oh, yeah, here we go. Old. This is how it used to look on Quest, which... It looks fine. It's not the greatest thing. It looks a little bit weird, but you still have some of the details and stuff. Some of the light baked a little bit weird here because of the bent normals. Sorry, not the bent normals, the baked normals and such. But like, yeah, looks nice. Has some lighting to it, even though it's flat lit. Yeah, it looks okay. But yeah, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, but now has its new lighting and such for all this, which I think it's more bright here because of the lighting. I'm not sure why. I don't think I have any. Yeah, I don't have any lights turned on or anything. That helped apparently. I don't know how it helped, but it did help. It doesn't do anything, but yeah, this is how it looks on Quest. Looks quite nice because it has all the baked normals and everything, and the metallic, and smoothness. Like it's all very nice, all very cool. Yeah, yeah. See if I turn this up. I see. But yeah, anyways, that is this. It's very nice. It turned out very well. Hoping to be done with the pocket watch soon. Come on, you can compile it. You got this. But yeah, that is this. Very cool. Very fun stuff. Anyways, I'm done rambling. That's the pocket watch. That's why I'm making it for this, for that project. I should show a little bit of the topology. I'm not the greatest at topology, but I feel like I do an okay job sometimes. Like, look how nice this looks. It's so cool. Like, look at the blending here. This isn't really topology work. It's just using a shrink wrap modifier to then conform to the surface of this, and it looks quite nice. Look at that. Quite gorgeous. Quite beautiful. Yeah, and then all this is just like text assets as well, with some bevel on, smooth out the edges a little bit. Just type in whatever I want. I got a font online for like the Roman numerals and everything. Yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. But yeah, anyways, that's this. That's pocket watch and like what it's used for. And yeah, yeah, that's that.